I can see the Major Deegan from here. So, like the Bronx is, well, I don't know, maybe 10 miles away, 10 miles south, pretty much a straight shot. So, I'm sandwiched between the two hot spots. There, in New Rochelle, which is north of me, and why I had to self-quarantine. I had a real out-of-body thing at Walgreens a few weeks ago, and that's when I knew for sure how strange the world was going to get. The shelves were bare. I mean, picked clean, as if a pack of, like, vultures had descended. The store was deserted, except for 2 employees. Kids, really. And the pharmacy was closed, and I was there for a refill of my anxiety meds. I asked, why was it closed? You know, and they smiled in a funny way. Like the twins in blue dresses. One of them said, well, they all called in sick. I asked, oh, are they really sick, or are they just afraid to come to work? I used to feel so bad, so nostalgic for the city because I lived there for 30 years. But now, the whole point of it, the density, the people, the grit, the dirt, the shit, the smell, the bodies up against other bodies, which is so beautiful, will not work for me in a post-pandemic world. I mean, just not anymore. So now it's, well, all about the masks and not the gloves. But surprise, there are no masks. They're all sold out. So here's what I'm doing. DIY. This one here, well, I just wore it. Well, and it's probably covered in COVID, right? It hangs in the sun because I read somewhere that the sun is the enemy of the virus. And so it'll sit out here, and after 3 days of quarantine, I'll take it into the house, wash it in hot water. But first, it goes through this process outside, and then, well, these guys here have been through all of the above. And now, back out into the sun to dry, and then safe for me to wear. Well, I have a whole system going. Of course, when it rains, I have to come up with something else, which is not easy. Once I tied a winter scarf around my face, but suffice it to say everything gets wet and, well, I won't use the laundry room because it's a tight space, and I am just not about to wipe down and disinfect 3 washers, 3 dryers. So I rely on the sun to come back out, which it does. Eventually. You know, it wasn't easy for me to cut up this shirt. But believe me, and honestly, 6 months into the future, I won't even know or care anymore what happens to the scraps of this t-shirt. I mean, I wore it for 3 years and it hadn't fallen apart like the others, but well, at some point, you know, you just have to let it go. I'll be right back. I need my coffee. A little cannabis.
Yeah.
A little bit of caffeine. I call this microdosing. I like being high, but I don't like being fucked up. My brother and I adjust your levels accordingly. Well, this one here, it's a little bit tight, but it's t-shirt fabric, so it stretches and it's real breathable. This cotton bandana, it worked when it was colder, but not so much now. In the earlier days of this, as you know, it was all about how long COVID would live on fabric, food, paper, whatever. So I undressed out here down to my underwear. I mean, everything. Socks, shoes, coats, jeans, sweaters, gloves. And it was cold. It rained a lot and it was foggy. But nothing came into my apartment that hadn't been disinfected first. Nothing. So I had to cut up this t-shirt. It was my brother's, Johnny's, of course. We wear dead people's clothing. I mean, don't we? Oh, we do. Don't tell me you don't. These are his bandanas, too. I had a pink and blue tie-dye t-shirt that completely disintegrated, but it's not surprising when you consider he had it since high school, and he was, I don't know, 46 when he died. And this other gray one, well, not this one, already had holes in it. And by the time I had worn it for 2 years, oh, more holes than fabric. Like when one of my boobs would pop out, I'd safely pin it shut and, well, I wouldn't consider throwing it away. You could call that a form of madness, but that's what grief is. Plus, I'm just stubborn. You know, 5 months from now, COVID will be spiking in other states, not New York, and I'll be wearing the blue and white masks, the ones that kind of look like you have a Kotex strapped across your mouth. And me, being me, I'll still wear lipstick. It's so strange to talk to people without ever seeing their mouths. But we'll get used to it. It'll be the new normal. And all of this won't mean anything, because I will still be here trying to stay alive. Oh, I remember music night at his apartment. We were sitting together at the piano, flipping through his fake book, looking for something to sing together. Usually, ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. I'd smile, right? I mean, it won't hurt anyone. And I'll be the big sister who lets go of the brother who died too soon because it's a pandemic. Doesn't have room anymore for that kind of grief. You think he'll forgive me? Can I forgive me? Maybe that's the real question. You know, when I was cutting up his favorite gray t-shirt up to make these masks, I said, I'm sorry, Johnny, but we both knew this moment was coming.
Wow.
Bravo.
Hey.